Alright, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another Battlefield video. And my last Battlefield video regarding 2042. Now, as we are approaching what is essentially, well, as we are in the last day of Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 6 launching tomorrow. I am so excited. I am so hyped. Though I will say that coverage of the game won't start till probably next week. Try and get it out as soon as possible. In this gameplay, you're going to be seeing here in the back, it's just me playing Arca Harbor, which I think is a good map. And what else? We're going to be going over Battlefield 2042, and we're going to talk about if it was really a bad game. We're going to go over the live service. We're going to talk about everything, looking back at everything now that the game's about to end, where it's at now, how it's grown. And also, I'm going to trinkle in some Battlefield 6 clips so you can see like some comparisons here. But for now, let's go over what my thoughts are on 2042 now that we're essentially on the final day of this game. I mean, nothing's gonna happen. This game is still gonna be up and running, but you bet your ass all that support is gonna go to Battlefield 6, and I am so hyped. I am so ready. One more thing before I get into the rest of this video. I don't like drawing out the intros. I'm not good with intros, so I'm sorry. How I'm gonna cover the game, Battlefield 6. Might as well get it out now, right? We're gonna go over the campaign first. Like, I'm still gonna be playing multiplayer, right? But I'm gonna be going over the campaign first. Then I'm gonna go to multiplayer, and we're gonna just continue with the multiplayer and the live service. You're not gonna be expecting up-to-date news and stuff like that from me. What you're gonna be expecting is more kind of like entertaining videos. You know, I've been talking about wanting to do a loadout series. You know, I've been wanting to do a lot. I'm gonna be doing that with Battlefield 6. For those of you who don't know, if you're new to my channel, Battlefield has been the mainstay in my channel. Has been my go-to. It's been how this channel started off. Battlefield, obviously, because Battlefield hasn't been doing so great these past few years. I've had to branch out and play other games, which I don't mind. I like doing variety. But overall, this is gonna be a main staple in the channel, Battlefield. Everything else is gonna take us a back seat. I'm gonna be focused on Battlefield 6 and Battlefield because it has been my favorite franchise since Battlefield 3. So there's that. As far as content wise, like I said, you're not gonna be seeing like up to date like news stuff. If I bring something up, it has to be probably because it's relevant to my community, relevant to my community, meaning like my audience, my subscribers, or something that I have a take on, whether it's drama or whatever. But I'm not gonna get too much into that. I do want to do entertaining stuff. I do want to bring you some sort of like a casual player's perspective of things. I mean, I'm not super casual with the game. Like, I do play to win, but like, I'm not sweating. I don't care about movement stuff. I don't care about meta and stuff. So that's what you're gonna be expecting from me. I'm gonna be going over a lot of how to progress through the weekly challenges. If it's anything like it's been in 2042, they're gonna be themes throughout the week. So I'll give you the most optimum way of running the challenges, so you can get them all done within like a day or two, maybe less than that, like a match or two, you know. Maybe within 3 matches you should have them all done, God willing. And as far as anything else goes, the only reason I'm not going to be covering like the news and the weekly stuff is because there's like millions of other creators who are going to be doing that. They're going to be up to speed with community updates, so I just want to generalize things and give you all a rough expectation of what's coming up throughout the week and stuff, you know. Anyways, on to the video. Sorry the intro is dragged out so long. Wanted to get that out of the way. 2042. It is the final day of the game, and it has been very interesting 3 years. When this game came out, very hyped as fuck. Very hyped. It had an insane marketing trailer. It looked really promising. It looked really good. But for those of you who played at launch, by the way, I'm not one of those launch players. I avoided the game for the first year. It was ass. A lot of people who played it reported a shit ton of bugs, reported crashes, imbalanced weapons, so many other things that just was not good for the community. And when I came in, it was when they were about to launch season 1 of 2042, and I decided to give it a try. Honestly, I got the game at GameStop for like $20. I'm not even joking. What else? So I got my money. In terms of what I spent, I got my money's worth. When it started, when the season 1 patch started and everything, it was rough. I mean, it wasn't like as good as it is now. Because right now, 2042, if you play it right now, like without having to focus on the battle pass and stuff, it's a fun game. You can have your moments. But playing Battlefield 6 and coming back to this, you realize this is Battlefield with the Call of Duty skin. You got the vibrant colors. A lot more things weren't. They didn't have as much grit to them as they do now. Specialists had these annoying ass voice lines, and there was a lot of little things that should be in a game that weren't in the game. And while I did defend Battlefield, I didn't defend it per se. I was open-minded and I gave it a chance, which is very crazy to do because a lot of people will paint you as a shill, or they'll say you're glazing or whatever, when in reality you know you're coming in, you know what you're coming into when you play the game, right? And when I came in the game, I was just hoping to see how good were the updates, were they optimizing the game a lot better, and through as the game went on, it got better. Going over the monetization and the battle passes and stuff, the live service, overall the battle passes did get progressively better. I do like that they added a catch-up system to the battle pass. I like that it was easier to get through the battle pass. I think they ended up slowing it down a little bit for the post season because they were a couple of battle passes that came out afterwards. They were, I guess, free passes that were like less tiers than 100 or 80 or whatever. And what did they do? They made it harder to get through the battle pass, but I mean that wasn't such a big deal. It wasn't like a big difference. It's not like Call of Duty where you used to be able to get through like 100 tiers and then they nerfed it and you could barely even get through like half of the shit unless you played for like an ungodly amount of hours. But overall, the monetization, the battle pass live service experience in Battlefield, from my perspective, was pretty good. I liked it. Like I said, I liked that there were different themes throughout the game service. I liked that there was a lot of stuff going for it in terms of skins. The only thing that I didn't like was the amount of content per season. Now, for those of you who are longtime veterans, those of you who stuck through Battlefield 2042 and held the fire under DICE's ass regarding this game, you know that the maps in this game were not good. Especially in 128. 128, Conquest 128, or anything of that nature with 128 was insane. There was a lot of chaos, which isn't a bad thing, but the map design was not so great because there was a lot of open areas, there was a lot of flat land, and you're kind of just like, huh? So, yeah. So what they had to do, because of the people complaining about the maps and stuff, they literally, every season that they released, it was a new map and a rework map. And the rework map, well, all they did was made some bad maps decent, or they made some bad maps, still bad maps that will cover, you know. I did have some favorites, but all in all, I ended up pulling away from 128 because I do love Conquest 128, but I feel like where they went wrong, and you can see this once they started focusing on 64-player Conquest, was they focused too much on all-out war. Now, the reason behind it was because, when you play Battlefield 4, and you go from Locker, you see Gold Mode Rogue, or Rogue Transmission, or whatever, you get all hyped because you know it's all-out war. That's what the players want. No. I said this in a video a long time ago. What players want, I can't believe I missed that, is huge maps. Like, yeah, they want big maps. They want all-out warfare, yes, but they also need to have a variety types of maps. They need to go down the quote-unquote combined arms. This will have like limited selection of vehicles in some maps. Let's say you have like infantry focus maps, which they added redacted. You have some, let's say, like, I'm gonna use Battlefield 4 maps, right? So you had your Locker, which was a meat grinder. You had Rogue Transmission, which was an all-out warfare map. You had The hell was that map that I like? Flood Zone, I think, where you're fighting on the rooftops and all that stuff. There wasn't a lot of vehicle and heavy stuff, so that was a good map. Yeah, you need variety in terms of how each map plays. So only focusing on All Out War was not good because it was chaos everywhere. Like, they like the chaos, but like when it's every map and every map is not good, it's just not a good experience, right? In terms of 128, I think it does have a place in Battlefield, though I do strongly believe that they need to learn to implement it properly because I don't think they handled it well in 2042. And all in all, as the game progressed, the rework maps, like I said, they made some bad maps decent, and they made some bad maps, still bad maps, but we'll cover. And just stuff happens, you know, it is what it is. What else? And as far as the other content that was going on, I mean, you had a couple of new weapons, and then you had a vault gun, and as the game progressed, the vault guns weren't really that strong. They were not compared to like the Battlefield 2042 weapons. The past Battlefield weapons weren't ever really that good. They felt weaker. They had weird recoil because they're themed after the recoil patterns from past games, so it just felt really weird using them, you know. Some people liked them. I kind of had a hard time. It wasn't until we started paying more attention to the vault weapons and bringing them up to par with the other game, with like the Battlefield 2042 weapons, that I started using them more. So we didn't have that much content coming into the live service, mainly because of the problems that it had. I feel like it held them back a lot, and there was a lot of room to improve, you know. Like I said, the live service was good. The amount of content per the battle pass was not so good because of the problems that 2042 launched with, which, I mean, it's fine. Should be better now that the game Battlefield 6 is going to be more optimal, but yeah, that's the thing. What else? As time went on, as time progressed, once they finished, I guess, the live service for 2042, things started improving a lot. When the final battle pass finished, I stepped away from the game because I thought that was done. Because I thought they were going to do what they did with Battlefield 5, where they just cut out support completely, you know? There wasn't going to be anything done. But now, to my surprise, they did the opposite of what they did with Battlefield 5. And they kept supporting the game. They had many events that you can accomplish getting certain ribbons. You get some skins. You get some weapons. If you miss out on some battle pass stuff, you get some of that stuff through the event weeks. It was pretty cool. I like that. It kept people engaged. It gave something to grind for. And it was pretty cool. And then they added, like I said, before this Battlefield 6 free pass, they had another one before. And I think that's when they introduced like the robot skins and stuff. Which, by the way, the skins regarding the game, I don't mind them because for me, and I wasn't ever worried about the skins going into Battlefield 6, because for me the skins made sense in the world setting and in the context of the game. You know, it's near future. You know, it's supposed to be near future, but not like modern. And yeah, they stuck to the theme, and it made sense at the time, and I didn't have anything against it. Plus, I like running around as a robot. It's pretty cool. And overall, just, yeah, the live service with time got better. Surprised they kept support throughout the game. And even the gunplay ended up getting better. Because back then, I used to complain a lot about, like, inconsistencies. I don't know if it was either my aim, but as I started playing it, especially, like, recently, like this gameplay you're seeing has been, like, what, a week or two old? My aim has gotten better in terms of gameplay, and I've started noticing the time to kill, it was more consistent, you know, but I realized it was relative to my aim. And back when you played the game, you used to be able to get beamed from across the map full auto, and you're talking like hundreds of yards, because back then the bullets went where you aimed, and if you have good enough recoil control, you can beam someone down 200 meters away, you know. And eventually DICE ended up changing that, nerfing that. We essentially stopped the argument as to why we need bloom in the game, and that is just for engagement distances and all that stuff. And it's pretty cool. Once they did that, they reworked the recoil patterns and everything, and I'm going off based off my knowledge. And they made the guns, the recoil on some of the guns look smoother, and it was pretty cool. The gunplay got so much better. That's why when I tell y'all like the gunplay in 2042 is really strong, and I'm glad that they're keeping it in Battlefield 6. I think Battlefield 6 is better. But they built up a lot of from what it was in 2042. I was excited because I like the gunplay in Battlefield 2042. Going over what else? Specialists, man. Specialists. They could have been good in the game, but the way they implemented them was wrong and not good. As some people have said, this really codified the game, and in a time when Call of Duty isn't doing so good, competing with Call of Duty wasn't the move.
Our enemy just secured Sector Charlie.
And that's something that I've made in another video where I've told DICE, y'all need to start competing with games that aren't even like, not that they're out of the league, is they need to start competing with games and focus on what makes them, because a good Battlefield will outsell Call of Duty any day, you know? And I think Battlefield 6 is going to prove that. When honestly, my opinion on the whole COD versus Battlefield, as much as I love Call of Duty, and because I grew up in Call of Duty, I think it's messed. I think it screwed itself over for these next few years, and I will stand by that, because here's what I'm gonna say: this right, Battlefield is gonna hold us over till GTA 6 comes out. Right now, if you're paying attention to Call of Duty, they're like desperate. They're panicking because their sales are super low. They're going as far as taking out skill-based matchmaking and doing like a bunch of other stuff, and it's too late for them to go back and really fix the game. Like, I can guarantee you the next few years has already been planned out for COD, and with Battlefield 6 rocking the numbers and everything, these next 2-3 years, Battlefield Call of Duty is just gonna be not so good, because they probably had their games lined up, they probably scrapped them all, and they're probably trying to ground everything back so they can go back to what they used to be. But it's gonna be a minute, because then let's say they release a Call of Duty next year, right? And if the rumors are true with GTA 6, right, and they release like September, October of next year, Call of Duty is not making any sales. You know, Call of Duty has an uphill battle, and it has a lot of rep to rebuild. Can it come back? Maybe. But time will tell, because if Black Ops 7 releases and it's strong like Battlefield 6, but they mess it up because all of a sudden they're getting players back and their money's coming back, guess what? They're going to go back, turn up the skill-based matchmaking, they're going to do a bunch of other stuff. They're going to go back on their word. So, yeah. What else? And all in all, looking back in like Battlefield 2042, like, did it deserve the hate? I can see why it got the hate, and I do understand why some hardcore fans don't like it. Me being someone who's genuinely open-minded about certain games, I think the game was fun for what it is, but after playing, like I said, Battlefield 6, man, the game could have been a lot better, especially because the destruction in this game wasn't as insane as it is in Battlefield 6 or in past Battlefield titles in general. And yeah, this game does feel like a codified Battlefield, but because of this game, Battlefield 6 was a thing, and I'm glad that DICE learned. I'm glad that Battlefield 6 has been born from the consequences of 2042. And all in all, my final thoughts on this game is it was good. It's fun. It got better over time. I understand why people didn't like it, but like I said, with time things just got better, and it is now like a decent game. It's nothing really bad at all. If you're not gonna get Battlefield 6 yet because it's too expensive or something, I wouldn't say give this game a try. I'd say definitely, like, if you have time, if it goes on sale, pick it up and try it out for a bit. Battlefield is different. We don't have a battle pass to work towards. I'm hoping that's not the case with Battlefield 6. I hope they made the challenges fun, more diverse. I hope that they don't force you to play in a way that you don't want to. I don't want the battle pass easy, right? Like, add challenges because they're challenges, but don't make them as egregious as some of the challenges have been in this game. Aside from that, specialists, look at this guy. Specialists could they can have a place, but I don't think it's in Battlefield anymore. Will they ever go back to that? Nope. And all in all, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's not a bad game, not a good game, it's an alright game. The game has definitely improved from launch, and going into Battlefield 6, I am so excited to play a good Battlefield game, you know? I forgot to mention the events in this game were fun. I think the two that stick out the most are when they introduced Control, and when they introduced that Halloween one a couple years ago. It's like a year or two ago with the robots and stuff. Really cool stuff, really fun. I liked it. But yeah. With that being said, I will be catching you all in Battlefield 6. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all enjoyed me yapping. Expect more great content. I am gonna really put effort into making more content. More quality content for Battlefield 6 because Battlefield is my bread and butter. And a lot of my friends from Battlefield 4 are gonna be coming back and playing this game, so you never know, man. You might be seeing some insane clips, and I'm excited to bring those to y'all. With that being said, like I said, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, you made it this far, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think of 2042. If you're a 2042 player, do you agree with what I've said? What you take on the game? I know a lot of you hate it. I don't think it's worth that much hate. I understand it hurt a lot of players, it burned a lot of players, but I mean, if you play the game for what it is, man, it can be fun. It has its moments, but you can't take away that it is basically Battlefield with a COD skin. So let's hope they don't repeat these mistakes. Let's hope they do better. I'm pretty sure Battlefield 6 is going to be better. I have high hopes for the game. And yeah, catch you all later. Peace.